put up a big performance against Kilkenny.
No, I won't. I'd be delighted to see Wexford win. In fact, Tomas and myself were just discussing it earlier on. It wouldn't be great for hurling if they did do it, but it's difficult to see how they're going to do it because from the semi-final we saw them against Laois and the struggle to get over, whereas Kilkenny just one pulling up against Offaly. But knowing Wexford, they'll dig in there, they'll come up with 100% more than they had the last day. They've always lifted their game against Kilkenny. Kilkenny have everything got to do. They're without John Power, who's a huge loss to Kilkenny. Huge loss, no doubt about it. But when you can leave the like of Brennan on the sideline and not use him, there's a lot of question marks over Wexford. There's very few over Kilkenny, and it's difficult to see Kilkenny doing it, or Wexford doing it, sorry.
Yeah, indeed, Tomas. If Wexford raise a big game today, and I've no doubt that they will it be enough?
It's hard to see it, Michael, as well, right? I expect a huge effort from Wexford, and I must say, I mean, they've nothing to lose. They're coming into this game as underdogs completely, and listen to Larry O'Gowan in his pre-match kind of interview. He said, like, players must be prepared to lose a bit of skin on their knuckles and things like that. And if we're to listen to what he said there, I'm sure they're going to tear into Kilkenny, and I expect them to do so. They've got to put up to Kilkenny at a very early stage, because if the likes of the DJs and the Charlie Carters gets the goals, this match will be over very, very quickly.
Well, it's about to start very, very quickly. Let's go over to Croke Park to Cyril Farrell and Joe Canning.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, we're all ready to go. The 70th ever championship meeting of Kilkenny and Wexford. The teams are unchanged. Quick look at Kilkenny. There you are. They've brought Sean Dowling in at number 7, and he will play there at left half back and into midfield. It's Andy Comerford and Canis Brennan, of course, and then up front, well, that impressive forward line of Carter, DJ Carey, Henry Shefflin. Between them they score 39 goals and 113 points. Match is underway. And Wexford, I can tell you, although we didn't see the team sheet, they are unchanged as well, as announced in your morning newspapers during the week. Kilkenny have won the toss, and they're playing from left to right in the first half. Same type of breeze we had yesterday. It's blowing diagonally across towards Hill 16. And a quick check here on the Wexford team, and you can see there that their team captain is Dara Ryan from the St Anne's Club in midfield. It's Fenlon and Mitch Jordan. And there's the forward line, and they've already made a switch there. Barry Goff and Paul Codd have switched. So no points so far. And after that exciting Ulster football final, we're looking for something similar here in the Guinness Leinster Hurling final. Canis Brennan trying to provide the first point of the day, but it's saved well by Damien Fitzhenry. Just short of its target. And there really is going to be a lot of pressure up there in that half-back line of Kilkenny, because the half-forwards of Wexford, Stamp, Murphy and Quigley, simply have to stop the supply of balls, Cyril, going in to the likes of DJ.
Yeah, it's important that Wexford start well and have a chance here now, because that ball is breaking and it could be a good score for them here.
Opportunities presenting. And there we have Rory McCarthy coming through. And that's going to be a free in, a chance of the opening point of this match. One of the star performers with Liam Griffin's class of 96. And a tick there against the name of J.J. Delaney by the referee as he dragged down Rory McCarthy. McCarthy now a teacher in Gorey, North County Wexford. Paul Codd to strike, and Paul Codd puts it over the bar. So Wexford go in front. That's a good start for them. But just 2 minutes gone. Interesting that Codd has been put in there to full forward. He's in on Noel Hickey, who was such a star, as we saw in the game against Offaly in the semi-final. John Power there, one of those missing this afternoon with a groin injury. Here comes Larry Murphy taking on Eamon Kennedy. Philly Larkin put under pressure. They try to get it away here with Michael Kavanagh. Still the pressure there with Codd firing it in from some distance out, but this time it has gone to the right.
At the moment, Joe Wexford are putting Kilkenny under all types of pressure, letting fly in anything that moves, and like they're playing the right tactics so far, and just to upset them a small bit.
Biggish crowd here, not as big as last Sunday's rather's Munster final down in Cork, but around about 30,000 eventually, I would think. We'll get the exact figure later on, I'm sure. In there on the 40 for Kilkenny is John Hoyne this afternoon. They get it back with Kennedy, the man from Dunnamaggin, and that has gone wide. It's Kilkenny's first shot on the target. Johnny Dempsey here has done a really good job. Ger Cush is alongside him, former fullback, and one of the selectors along with Tony Dempsey, who of course is the manager. Brian Cody pacing up and down. All-Ireland captain himself back in 1982. He was the first man from Kilkenny City itself to captain an All-Ireland winning team. Here's Rory McCarthy, ready to take on J.J. Delaney. Lots of pressure and energy from Wexford early on. Larry Murphy, the umpires go right back, have a good look, and in the end they say it's gone wide. No complaints from Larry. Larry, who today plays in his 25th ever championship match. A couple of young players, of course, in that Wexford forward line today, playing in their first ever Leinster final. Darren Stamp and Barry Goff as well. Liam Dunn getting it back down. Murphy in towards Rory McCarthy. A couple of Wexford players there, however, out by Sean Dowling. Here comes Declan Ruth, member of the extended panel back in 1996. To Paul Codd. Difficult angle for Codd, and he has put it wide. There are now 4 wides by Wexford, and it's very early on.
Yeah, during that time there, Paul Codd, he had Jim Stamper on the inside of him. So far, Liam Dunn is completely on top of John Hine. He's cleared the last 3 or 4 balls, just batted them down, got them away.
Here comes James McGarry, cousin, of course, of DJ Carey. Several players missing it. Mitch Jordan was going for it, missed by Dowling this time, but he gets it back, second time of asking. Kennedy calling for it, stepping away from the trouble presented by Larry Murphy. Good catch here by Darragh Ryan, Wexford's captain. His club won the Hurling and Football Championships last year in Wexford. That's Philly Larkin, giving decent ball inside towards Henry Shefflin. Runs loose to John Hoyne. Dunn's after him. Hoyne with scoring chance, and he has put it over the bar.
Needed that one, Joe, for his confidence, but so far that's the first ball he's got. Kilkenny will be quite happy. Wexford will be happy as well that Darragh Ryan caught the first high one over DJ. He'd want to get a good start on him.
Well, the questions they're asking, of course, early on are just how fresh is this Kilkenny team? John Hoyne is certainly very, very fresh. And Philly Larkin is down with an injury. A remarkable family, the Larkins, of course. Between grandfather, dad and Philly himself, they have 10 All-Ireland medals. John Hoyne, who was a star last year, has made it a point apiece. Larkin's back on his feet. It's a puck out to Damien Fitzhenry of Wexford. And the referee is calling for some attention from the far side. It may be a blood injury, and it most definitely is, to Andy Comerford, the O'Loughlin Goyles player, so he's going to have to go off. Dr. Bill Cuddihy there alongside him to render attention, so they'll bring in a substitute immediately here, and it's going to be Derek Ling. So a taste of the championship, words of advice from Brian Cody, and they'll try and get Andy Comerford back in the match quickly. But this is not necessarily one of the 5 subs. This is an extra sub allowed and permitted this year because of the blood rule. Here's Philly Larkin. 2 men on him, fouled by 1, and in the end, it's a free. The foul was by Ryan Quigley. And they also have to change jersey and get a fresh jersey on. This is also part of the rule. Teams are supposed to have 2 sets of jerseys coming here for big matches. Eamon Kennedy floating this in towards DJ Carey. Back to Charlie Carter. He looks sharp. That's over.
Yeah, during the week, Charlie was a scary. You can see his knee there is well bandaged below, above and over the knee as such, like, but he's carrying that injury. He's still sharp there.
Well, after Wexford had 4 wides in 4.5 minutes, Kilkenny have 2 attacks, 2 points. Aimed across towards Rory McCarthy once again. J.J. Delaney is his marker for the afternoon. Trying to get it forward there was Darren Stamp. Here's Henry Shefflin. Tall, leggy fellow. Going by Colm Keogh. This is ominous. Good save, but it's in the back of the net.
Good save, Ger, but DJ got the rebound, and no better man than DJ doesn't miss chances like that. Good run by Henry Shefflin, coming right in, taking the defender on, going around him. Great save, but the rebound goes to DJ and he won't miss them.
That's 8 minutes gone. And DJ Carey profiting by the great work of Henry Shefflin. And DJ Carey, with this tap in at the end, has scored his 31st ever goal in Championship hurling. He's an amazing man.
Wexford could have done without that, Ger, as such.
Well, they had the opportunities early on. They spurned them. They have just 1 point to show for about 5 attacks. Free to Eamon Kennedy and Kilkenny. Towards John Hoyne. Opportunity now to get away from Liam Dunn, and he goes for the point himself, but he has missed it. I thought Henry Shefflin was magnificent here. He really got well past Colm Keogh. It was a good save by Damien Fitzhenry, but you can't bat it out when DJ's about.
Yeah, it was really Henry's goal as such.
Larry Murphy, beaten. Kennedy was held back. Free to Kilkenny. Even after under 10 minutes of play, it's developing a very familiar pattern. Mastery by the Cats, Leinster and All-Ireland champions. And that's a foul there by Darragh Ryan. And you can't do that just about 30 metres out from goal, 35 maybe. It's a fairly routine free for Henry Shefflin to tap over the bar.
Again, Ger, Henry Shefflin came across in front of a high ball and took it. He's very strong and very big.
He's a huge addition to the forward line, but this one has gone off the post. It's a let-off for Wexford. It's a bad miss by Henry Shefflin, but Charlie Carter makes amends, or does he? Yes, he does.
The knee doesn't seem to be worrying Charlie. He flew out to that one.
Well, if everybody with a bad knee can flash around the place as quickly as Charlie and get 2 points from 2 shots on the target, not too bad at all. Back off the post, down to Charlie, and he did the rest. And Andy Comerford is coming back onto the game with number 26 on his back. So off goes Derek Ling.
And he got that belt, Ger, under a high ball.
Damien Fitzhenry's puck out, the man from Duffrey Rovers. Everybody trying to get it forward. In the end, it was Brian McAvoy. Ooh, high tackle by Hoyne. That's a dangerous one. Referee, I think, will quite correctly take the book out and issue a yellow card for that.
I think he's all right, Ger, so he went down underneath the tackle. You know, it looks worse than it actually is.
Well, I wouldn't like to have been Colm Keogh, I can tell you.
Yeah, he'll get up and he'll play on.
So that's the first yellow card then. It was John Hoyne, in fact, who had that yellow card. Not Brian McAvoy, John Hoyne. More pressure. That's Darren Stamp. And that's gone over the bar. He's an under-21 player, Darren Stamp. That's a point they needed, but it's 1-3 to 2 points. They've a lot of work to do. Stamp is well known down in Wexford for a great point he got 2.5 weeks ago, about 70 yards out in the Leinster semi-final. That was against Offaly. Wexford have been doing well this season in hurling. They're in the final of this, of course. They're in the minor, they were in the minor. And of course also the intermediate and the under-21. Good play. This is Larry O'Gorman. Can he lift this side? He's lifting his boot a little bit there against Dennis Byrne, who is the Kilkenny captain. Well, the Wexford fans, I think, have come here more in hope than expectation, but really hoping that their side can really give it everything. Liam Dunn dropping it in there towards Paul Cobb, runs beyond him. McGarry with the save. The clearance towards Brian McAvoy. Declan Ruth leaving it there for Mitch Jordan. Comes back to Kilkenny. Away by Dowling this time, up towards John Hoyne, battling with Liam Dunn. All a bit frenetic. Keogh back on his feet following that foul a little while ago. Given it out nicely there to Ryan Quigley. Again, it drops short, and it's easy for James McGarry. Great work by Larry O'Gorman to go up for that one. Can't quite get it away, however. Andy Comerford is having a puck at that one. Fenlon going back, won't just come up for him first or second time, and once again it's Henry Shefflin leaving it for Charlie Carter in front of goal. He takes his chance. 3 shots on the target and 3 points for Charlie Carter.
It's a ball that should have been cleared. Aaron Fenlon was on top of that and was left him to clear it, and he just kind of messed it up, and the Kilkenny forwards won't miss chances like that.
Is there a more lethal corner forward about? Well, when they had the chance to get it away, twice Fenlon tried to get it up onto his stick, wouldn't come for him, and Charlie was in there like a flash. Good work here by Ryan Quigley. Into space, Codd chasing after it. Noel Hickey is after him. Awkward angle now, just trying to get it in towards Rory McCarthy. Wexford needing another score, just to settle them down a bit. And that was really from an almost impossible angle. His back effectively was to the goals that time. Pretty straightforward for James McGarry so far this match, a player who made his debut against Laois in 1999. Mitch Jordan dropping it down. Here comes Andy Comerford now wearing number 26. He says, "I'll have a go." He's put it wide. Well, Kilkenny have had a great start, but there is a long way to go, and the next 10-15 minutes, you feel, could be vital in this match.
Yeah, Jaron, like, you know, Kilkenny are on top. When the ball goes into the full forward line inside there to Wexford, they have a lot of spaces. If Wexford could get a goal, this game could come really alive. It's kind of gone just a bit flat.
So pressure on the Kilkenny half-back line once again. Mitch Jordan whipping on this one towards Codd, won by Hickey instead. Great full-back play by Noel Hickey. Larry O'Gorman, quick change of direction. Players calling for it. Drop down here, one back again. Opportunities presenting. Barry Goff this time to Larry Murphy, and he drives it over the bar. And that's what Wexford require.
Good score, Joe. He's just kind of in the game the whole time, just tapping along, you know, and if that goal could come, as I say, it'd really open it up.
Only a goal and a point between the teams. Barry Goff realising there was a better placed player around, and that player was Larry Murphy, the club-owned player. And Larry Murphy is now injured, and the referee escorting him across towards the sideline. Dr. Stephen Bowe coming out to meet him here. Appears to be an ankle injury, but let's just see this point once again here. Scored by Murphy, following an excellent pass. Well, he's shaking that off, as they say. Back in the action. 1-4 to 3 points. Declan Ruth batting that one away. They're trying to get it back in again. Difficult for Sean Dowling there in his championship debut. Pressure applied on him. Opportunities for Codd here. Has a player outside, that's Ryan Quigley. Quigley with the angled shot has fired it away to the left. Don't do his confidence any good.
No, Jared, it should have been a score as well as one that Wexford needed, but that should have been over because there was no one near him. It was well led off to him.
This, incidentally, the 106th ever Leinster final, and the 70th meeting of these teams in the championship. Great old rivals, met in every one of the finals during the 1970s. Some great battles then. This could be a good battle yet as Larry Murphy takes off. 2 people after him. He gets it in towards Codd. Here's a goal chance. Brilliantly stopped by the goalkeeper. And they fish around for the ball in there, but McGarry spread himself superbly and denied Paul Codd what would have been a vital goal for Wexford and would have put them within a point of the champions. A great run by Larry Murphy and a great piece of goalkeeping, decisive and brave by James McGarry. It comes back out to the centre again. Michael Kavanagh trying to clear it. Codd getting it back towards Mitch Jordan. Here it comes back out here to Sean Dowling. Canis Brennan, they're batting it around like it was ping pong. That was Mitch Jordan almost connecting there with Sean Dowling. Picked up here by Barry Goff, and the referee has signalled a free into Wexford.
I'd have to say so far, Gerard, that Sean Dowling is not having a... I know it's his first game as such, but the occasion he's getting when he gets a lot of ball, he's getting blocked down and stopped and very hesitant on him.
That is one of the factors, of course, Cyril. You've got Sean Dowling and JJ Delaney behind him. There's not a great deal of championship experience down that left flank of the Kilkenny defence.
Yeah, it's a flank, I suppose, that Wexford should try to open up.
Paul Codd. It's one they need, and he's caught it beautifully. Paul Codd's second pointed free. He scored 10 points in the semi-final against Laois. All of them were from frees, and the first two today also from frees. A goal between them.
At the moment, Gerard, there's very little ball going into the Kilkenny full forward line.
I'd say the worry from Tony Dempsey's point of view is that whenever the ball does go in there, he knows how lethal Kilkenny can be. Ryan Quigley from a huge distance out, dropping it in and over. Missed one earlier, but he's caught this one from a huge distance out. You know, he was on the 65-metre line that time. Wexford are closing the gap midway through this first half. The lead is down to 2 points. This was belted out to Quigley, and from a fair old distance from the goal area, he belted it over. Well, we're looking for a really good contest. Let's hope we get it. Here's Canis Brennan, pursued by Mitch Jordan. He's fouled, and it's a free into Kilkenny. All these frees so absolutely vital. It'll be a big day for the likes of Henry Shefflin and for Paul Codd, the respective free takers. Wexford fans jeering the decision. Tony Dempsey with a philosophic look on his face. There's Mitch Jordan operating in midfield. And here comes Henry Shefflin looking for his first point of this match. Set up the goal earlier on. He is not to be denied.
Yeah, it's a good score, Gerard, under pressure. So but Tony Dempsey referring to him out there, he's done a good job. And I'd say he'll be happy enough that Wexford are still in this game. Henry Shefflin is roaring to his players out the field to get the ball in. Definitely they've been starved the ball inside there.
Well, between them, the inside forward line already have scored a goal and 4 points. And that's after 20 minutes play. Larry Murphy here, battling with Eamon Kennedy. Goff trying to take it up. Instead, it's Andy Comerford, pursued and won back, initially at least, by Fenlon. Here he is again. Again, his touch and able to get that ball up. Here comes O'Gorman. Great-hearted Larry O'Gorman. Quick change of direction. Had to hand pass it quickly across here towards Barry Goff. That is a superb point. Barry Goff, who's playing at top of the left, wearing 14, benefiting from that fantastic run by Larry O'Gorman, and it's 1-5 to 6 points.
And that'll lift Wexford again, because Larry, you know, he has that charisma about him that he lifts the Wexford crowd, and they're right in this game.
Great point. And I've just noticed that, that's John Power, of course, but I've just noticed that Larry Murphy has been forced off to the sideline. Now, whether or not they haven't brought a sub on just yet.
He seemed to hurt his ankle, Joe, when he struck one of the points there a few minutes ago.
Well, he'd be a huge loss. He's a big fellow. He's got great experience of playing there in that half-forward line, a vital line, as we were saying earlier on, and that's a bit of a wild blow there. And it's a case of keeping a cool head here now, and John Hoyne has already been booked in this match. He's going to look at the number again. Is he going to...
He's lucky, Ger, because he's already got a yellow card and he pulled wild there. Like, he's just not having... Liam Dunn has beaten him up a stick so far and he's just getting frustrated. He'd want to keep on the ball, because if he's booked again, he's gone.
But really, the referee would have given him a yellow for that had he not given him a yellow earlier on. He went to look at his number. Did he opt out of the decision?
It looked like he did, Ger, because once he'd given the yellow the first time, the two boys are having a chat now in the centre, but he should have got another yellow card for that one anyway.
That's a baffling decision by Pat O'Connor not to give another yellow, which would have meant a red, and Kilkenny could have been down to 14 players. This is the free to Paul Codd from his own 65-metre line, and he has put that one wide. So still 2 points between the teams.
At the moment, your Henry Shefflin has come out wing forward and Larry O'Gorman. Larry was catching a lot of ball in Dennis Bowman. Dennis got into the corner.
Larry Murphy's coming back into the match again, and there's a big cheer. Paul Codd had come out onto the 40. Now they'll reverse positions, or will they? In fact, Larry is, I think, going to go into the inside forward line itself, playing at full forward. So they're moving things around, keeping the Kilkenny backs on their toes. James McGarry's puck out towards Henry Shefflin this time. It breaks loose to Andy Comerford, swiftly inside there. There's John Hoyne, seems to have switched inside to full forward. Here comes Brian McAvoy, and McAvoy over the bar. That's a great point by Brian McAvoy. Used to play in midfield.
When they get that ball inside, they're very, very fast and very accurate. From very little ball, they've got a lot of scores, but the ball isn't going up. The Kilkenny half-back line midfield are not on top, like, you know, and they're getting it very hard to get the ball in there.
Good pass by John Hoyne, and that's over the bar. Hoyne may be lucky to be still on the field, but at least he's managed to benefit his team to the tune of another score. What can Tony Dempsey do about this? There's only a goal in it. That goal scored after 8 minutes by DJ Carey. DJ's had a lot of injuries, of course, this year. Doesn't look at his fittest just yet. Here he is. And that's Sean Flood. Man they call Shawnee doing well. Out as far as Canis Brennan. Belted back in. Charlie Carter looking up into the sky, getting it down into the stick. Another chance and another point by Charlie Carter.
He's leading today again, Jerry. Any chance he gets, and he's not getting that many, but everyone he gets, he bangs it over the bar.
Well, it's 4 points and 4 shots.
That's right, he hasn't missed one yet.
This is a man of the match type performance already by Charlie Carter. Straight down the centre, the puck out goes. Philly Larkin watching it the whole time. Andy Comerford, they're very dominant in that sector. Pressure on Darragh Ryan. DJ Carey has it. Thought about a switch of directions. The man they call the Dodger. Well, his shot stopped by Colin Keogh. Back to Comerford once more. He's a very dominating figure in midfield. Declan Ruth bounces off the head that time of Brian McAvoy. Comes back towards Henry Shefflin. Little lob ahead, and DJ had moved to the left. The ball had gone to the right, and that was just enough there for the fullback to come out and make the clearance. Darragh Ryan driving it away down. Touched back down by Philly Larkin. That's Andy Comerford. Ryan once again. The stick of DJ Carey breaks. This is out here towards Declan Ruth. Rory McCarthy was involved in a lot of the action in the opening 5 minutes. Here he is getting away from JJ Delaney. An exciting move forward here by Wexford. Stopped by Kilkenny, fouled, and it's a free in on the 20-metre line. Good run by Rory McCarthy, the St Martin's player. Well, he's an experienced man at this stage. This is his 16th championship match. He got in, he was fouled. He would have been going for a point himself, but it should be a fairly straightforward one for Paul Codd. Codd with 2 points so far. This to put just 3 points between the teams once more. High up into Hill 16 and over the bar. And it's 1-7 to 7 points. 27 minutes gone, as you can see. Well, the Kilkenny followers here will be wondering what the response will be of their own team here. Fenlon put up the hand for it, made no contact. Gary O'Gorman going back, and the final touch there was from John Hoyne. Sean McMahon from County Clare is the linesman on this near side. So line ball to Wexford. Brian Cody has done a really good job over the last 3 years as manager of Kilkenny. They came back from losing 2 All-Ireland finals to win it in dramatic fashion against Offaly last year. They won the Leinster title once again. Andy Comerford doing well to get that ball into Henry Shefflin, but nobody able to contain it inside there. And that's going to be a Wexford puck out. 4 wide so far for Kilkenny. 7 for Wexford. I think that was Henry Shefflin's dad, in fact, there in the crowd, also known as Henry. Everybody leaping in the air for it, nobody quite getting it. In the end, it's belted down by Adrian Fenlon. Returned here, and the man put under pressure was Larry O'Gorman. John Hoyne. An important stop there by Darragh Ryan, but it still reaches Charlie Carter. DJ Carey trying to get it on his stick. Dennis Byrne was about as well, and it's a stalemate situation. The referee will throw the ball in.
This stage as well now, Gerard, Colm Keogh switched across on Charlie, and Charlie Cole is on the far corner.
Could be a vital switch. Charlie was certainly creating havoc in there. DJ Carey letting this one, and that is the wing-back Declan Ruth from the Rapparees club. That's Sean Dowling, beyond Andy Comerford. Adrian Fenlon instead for Wexford. Down towards Rory McCarthy's corner. Well taken by JJ Delaney. Colm Keogh getting out to the ball first time, deciding that's the way to beat Charlie Carter. There's Ryan Quigley at a fabulous point earlier on, but he has missed this one and put it well to the left. Well, he hails from Aulart the Bannock, which of course is Martin Story's club. Martin watching the game this afternoon behind the goal away to our right. And so far, Ryan Quigley's had 4 shots at goal and just made 1 point. Brian McAvoy down to Canis Brennan, inside towards DJ Carey, being well controlled. Away by Larry O'Gorman. Down towards Barry Goff. Good cornerback play, however, by Michael Kavanagh. He's an exciting player. Right in it goes. Opportunities presenting, but then out comes Liam Dunn. A vital clearance towards Michael Mitch Jordan. Getting there just ahead of Canis Brennan. On it goes to Paul Codd, now playing on the 40. In towards Larry Murphy, who's at full forward. Stopped instead by Philly Larkin. All eyes on the ball, taken down by Declan Ruth. And the referee has decided that there is a throw there. And it's going to be a free, which will be to Kilkenny. The decision is questioned. Pat O'Connor from Mahon has had the distinction of refereeing provincial finals in 3 different provinces so far. This was the throw there. It was fairly blatant on the part of Declan Ruth. Here's Henry Shefflin now. This about 60 metres out. And it is well within his range. Wonderfully struck. That's 2 pointed frees now by Shefflin. And Kilkenny have a 1-goal and 1-point lead. And a change being made by Wexford. Larry Murphy finally, I think, being forced out of this, and Martin Byrne is going to come in. Well, he damaged an ankle when scoring earlier on. They moved him into full forward. It hasn't worked out, and off he goes. So one of the 5 substitutes now being used by Wexford. There'll be 2 minutes of added time after the 35 has been played here. So we've still got about 4.5 minutes of playing time at the end of this first half. Rory McCarthy, just enough space to get this one in. Barry Goff couldn't get a touch on it. Wexford needing a bit more force from their forwards here, having lost Larry Murphy. That's a big, big loss. Martin Byrne, by the way, has gone in on Eamon Kennedy, playing at centre-half forward, and Codd has gone back to the full.
He's a big, strong fella. More at home and around the full forward line in the league games anyway.
Here comes John Hoyne once more. Colm Keogh making sure he polices Charlie Carter as best he can. He's on the ground, Charlie's after it, and it's Darragh Ryan who's after him, and they get a line ball. Good play by the captain of Wexford. And that's Jimmy Cooney there, I think it is. Yes. Coogan, I should say, who has a cruciate leg injury, hasn't been operated on just yet, but he's out for the rest of the season, clearly. A big loss by Kilkenny. Away by Liam Dunn this time. Broken down here, Adrian Fenlon sweeping onto it. Good low ball, intelligent use of possession. Into Codd, taking on the defence. He loses it, has a chance to go after it, however. But there was a goal chance there for just a moment. It's still Paul Codd. Dropping it in, there's a couple of players waiting for it. Here's Byrne, the new man in. Oh, Martin Byrne hasn't really settled into the pace of the game just yet. His touch leaving him down, and Kilkenny will have possession. So time ticking away towards the end of the first half, and in general I think Brian Cody will be happy enough. His side created 16 chances and managed to take a total of 9 of those, although Wexford had 18 chances, 2 more, but just took 7. But Kilkenny getting that very significant goal at a vital time. Canis Brennan looks good, and it drops over.
That's a great score by Canis Brennan. Great run by Andy Comfort. He saw Canis use little hand pass out to him. Canis over the bar.
They've got a good understanding, Comerford and Brennan. And what an extra plus it is for any team when you can see a midfield player coming through onto a ball like that and having the confidence and courage and the skill to score a point. Here's Philly Larkin. He was fouled there. There was a chop down. And the referee's having a word there with Ryan Quigley and saying no more of that. Explaining it there to Adrian Fenlon. And Fenlon's in fact the one who is ticked for it. Crowd still waiting for the fireworks to happen here. It hasn't happened so far. Kennedy stopped this time by Larry O'Gorman. Still Kilkenny pressurised. John Hoyne. And it runs on to Brian McAvoy, beating the attempted block, and he's put it over the bar. So many wonderful, dangerous forwards. 2 shots by Brian McAvoy and 2 points for him. But you can just take it from anywhere and everywhere. They can score from all angles. The only player who hasn't scored so far, by the way, is Dennis Byrne, the captain. But this was McAvoy, and that was magnificent. Philly Larkin once again, he's doing his work really well against Ryan Quigley. Just allowed him in for 1 point. Tony Dempsey giving the water bottle there as Philly Larkin goes back to his position. It's quite a cool evening here in Dublin. Eamon Kennedy with the free. Should be Colm Keogh's, but DJ uses his pace to get out ahead of him. Quick change of direction, and he's missed it. Hasn't scored in the match. Oh, he has. He scored the goal, but hasn't scored a point so far. He's had a couple of chances of points. And the referee has noticed the injury there to DJ Carey, and more than that, he has been speaking with Colm Keogh. So his number goes into the referee's book. He wasn't yellow carded now, Keogh, but this is it after DJ got away, hit his shot, and then the chop down by Keogh is penalised by the referee. It's the final piece of action in the first half, and a Leinster final here, where DJ Carey got yet another goal 8 minutes into the match, following a great one by Henry Shefflin. But Charlie Carter's points were really worth seeing. 4 in all so far, and at half-time it's Kilkenny who lead by 1 goal and 10 points to Wexford's 7 points. The champions still will a little bit more to do as we go down to the sideline and to Darragh Maloney.
Rory Kinsella, how do you think things are going from a Wexford point of view?
From a Wexford point of view, we're contesting very well. I don't think we deserve to be 6 points down. A better use of the ball. We've had 9 wides in the first half. I think the delivery should be a bit lower into the forwards, and we haven't got parity in the middle of the field at the minute. But they're contesting very well, and Kilkenny are making better use of the possession that they have, basically. I think I'd say we probably have more possession over that 35 minutes, and we don't deserve really to be 6 points down, but we are. More of the same in the second half, but better use of the ball and taking our chances, basically.
All right, thanks very much for your time. John Power of Kilkenny would love to be out there today. John, what's your view on the first half?
Well, I suppose top class save from James McGarry. Well, not just fairly helter-skelter stuff, typical Wexford Kilkenny Leinster final, and James made a top class save there and would be fairly level going in other than that save. Like, and I suppose the last 10 minutes of the first half there, Kilkenny got on top of it and got 3 or 4 points, and it's going to be a tough game, tough battle in the second half.
All right, John, thanks for your time. Thank you very much.
Indeed, we are looking forward to a top-class battle in the second half. That'll be coming up, plus analysis after this.
John Hoyne, and I think he may well consider himself to be a very lucky man that he's still playing in this Leinster final. Now, Tomas Mulcahy and Pete Finnerty have been watching that match. Hasn't quite sparked into life. An interesting first half, Tomas, but not sort of a cracking one.
Yeah, but I think, Michael, if you're Kilkenny, you'll be happy enough with your performance, because, I mean, you're going in as favourites, and you know Wexford are going to throw everything at you but the kitchen sink, and they've done that in the first half period, and they survived. And if Wexford played a bit nervous in the first 10 minutes, and if they had a bit of control and a bit of finesse in their play, they would have had 3 or 4 extra points, and they shot very bad wides at a time in the game when they were on top of Kilkenny, and they had the opportunity to put pressure on Kilkenny, but they didn't take their chances, and Kilkenny were up the field. I think Charlie Carter touched the ball 4 times, and he's 4 points. And that, to me, is the difference between Kilkenny and everybody else in the country at the moment. They have that natural talent, the natural ability. When the opportunity arises, they'll take their scores.
I think, to me, the difference between the two sides in the first half, Pete, was, or not so much the two sides, but more in terms of Wexford's performance. You have somebody like Larry O'Gorman who's thrown himself into everything and sort of given a wholehearted, and then the sub that comes in with the simple chance to pick the ball up and he flings it out over the sideline. A kind of a listless, I'm sure it wasn't, I'm probably nervous, but...
Yeah, Wexford were probably breaking hurleys in the dressing room before they came out. They're all psyched up for this game, and they're going to tear into anything that wears a black and amber jersey. And Larry O'Gorman is just one example of many people you could pick. Everybody's at it. Liam Dunn is at it. Their whole half-back line is at it. They're tearing into everything. We're a little bit more control, a little bit more finesse, as Tomas said, in the forward line. Take your time, because everybody seems to want to do something now. I'm going to win this game for Wexford this minute. Whereas if they took their time, settle down, take their opportunities. Kilkenny are waited and waited for 10 minutes to get a ball up in the forward line. The next thing they get it, over the bar. Then Shefflin gets it, goes on a run, a goal. They'll wait, they'll take their opportunities. Wexford are a little bit too hyped up. Now, you can understand it as well. They're against the favourites, the best team in Ireland at the moment, and the Maul want to do something immediately. But if they settle down in this game, and had they got the goal, it would be a very interesting game at this stage. It still is, but it's a lot for Wexford to bridge in the second half now.
I suppose Wexford needed the goal that Kilkenny actually got in that first half, Tomas.
Yeah, we've said it so many times in the past that Kilkenny have this ability to get the scores, and again, it's great play by Shefflin, and takes the ball on and takes his man on as well. And I must say, Damien Fitzhenry does very well here.
Super.
But I was talking about natural ability, Michael. When the ball breaks across the square, first to react is DJ. Like, no need to put the hand up to grab it, to control it. Just a quick whip, and it's inside the back of the net. And that's the difference that's standing out between everybody else at the moment. And credit to Shefflin, because Kilkenny coming into this game today, they felt like the likes of John Power missing from centre forward is a key central position. And we're seeing the replay again, you know, and place, yeah. Like Shefflin has taken up the mantle and he's taken on the responsibility a bit. Again, we expect DJ to finish it on the calibre of that, but I mean, the smaller and the weaker players, like the Shefflins coming into play, like the John Hines at centre forward, like they've controlled the game and they've moved it, and there's a bit of variety to them, and I think they'll be very happy with their 6 points at half time.
This next clip we're going to show, Pete, will, I think, be a part of the frustration the Wexford supporters might have. Possession of the ball, not doing anything with it, it's a Kilkenny point.
Yeah, this is typical of what we were talking about earlier on. That ball came down out there and Larry Gorman had a chance to catch it. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, when Wexford were going well, he would have caught that ball. Instead, here we see Wexford, they're flaking. Look at this, we'll see a big wild pull, little tip by Kilkenny. Ball goes forward, towards the goal. Charlie Carter, no mistake, over the bar. That ball should have been down in the full forward line 2 minutes before Charlie even put it over the bar. And this is the difference between the teams. Kilkenny are prepared to wait. OK, they have the confidence. They're all Ireland champions. They can afford to do it. But after the first 5 minutes, Wexford had 5 shots at goal. They had 1 point to show for it. In the next 5 minutes, Kilkenny took 5 shots at goal, and it was 1-3 to a point to score. And that's the difference. Kilkenny have the confidence to take their scores when they get the opportunity. Wexford just don't. It's difficult to see where Wexford go from here. They're 6 points down. They're going to have to tear back into the game. They're going to need a goal. Kilkenny are going to be patient. They're going to wait for the opportunities. They're going to score another 7 or 8 points in this half. And you're talking about a difference of 14 points that Wexford have to bridge to win. It's difficult to see how they're going to do it.
Well, Rory Kinsella indicated there in the interview that they realise all these things and that this is the case. Can they do anything anything about it? That's the big question. We'll find out in the second half. Second half, let's go back again to Cyril and Ger.
Well, we're ready to go. Todd O'Connor from Limerick just about to get the second half underway in front of an attendance today, which I find a bit staggering. It's 41,000. I thought there were more people here yesterday, I have to say, for the 2 qualifying matches in football. DJ Carey, that's gone wide. Out of luck with his shooting, for points that is, in this match so far, but he really knocked that ball into the back of the net early on. Beautifully, wonderful skill, great craft. He's had 3 shots at the target now at this stage. DJ made just 1. Sean Dowling. Again, there's pressure on here. This is the freshman in, Martin Byrne. He's come in for Larry Murphy. Ooh! It would have been a really important goal for Wexford. Barry Goff just could not get the stick to it. Had he done so, there would only have been 3 points between the teams. But credit Martin Byrne knocking it across there rather invitingly. And the Faith Harrier, the number 14, couldn't score. At least it's a good start for Wexford, creating opportunities. That's John Hoyne. Down towards Charlie Carter, gone well away from Colm Keogh. And that's over the bar. Charlie Carter scored 5 points. It was almost like Colm Keogh wasn't aware of the movement of Carter, and Carter was about 4 yards ahead of him by the time this ball came in from John Hoyne. There he is, that's the gap he was allowed, and that's a great score one more time. Adrian Fenlon. It's asking a lot of the experienced heads on this Wexford team. They need scores quickly. Hickey. Good shoulder by Cobb. And it's away in the end by Michael Kavanagh. But back towards Adrian Fenlon. Getting some support over there. Mario Gorman over here towards Darren Stamp. Stamp, the under-21-year-old, has put this one over the bar. That's a second point. So they go point for point at the start of the second half. Wexford keep on plugging away, and Darren Stamp here got well away from Sean Dowling. Plenty of latitude and good accuracy. James McGarry, who made that super save in the first half. Touchdown by Liam Dunn. Onto it was Canis Brennan. And there's Dennis Byrne. And Dennis Byrne has put this one wide. Well, the panel were talking during the break there about the need for Wexford to be a bit more composed, to take it easy, and rather than rush into everything at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's true, Ger. I suppose we're all hyped up before the start of the game. But like, young Stamp has the beating here of Sean Doyle, gets enough ball. There, Dennis Byrne just was wide, and Dennis, things aren't just going right for him. He needed that score to get his confidence flowing.
One-handed forward there by Brian McAvoy. McAvoy, by the way, and Dennis Byrne have switched wings. Here's Larry O'Gorman, back in his best position, left half back. Here's Barry Goff, a point in the match so far for Goff. Back towards Brian McAvoy once again, happily recovered from injury. Didn't make a lot of headway. Larry O'Gorman kept to his task, and there was a foul down there, and it's going to be a free for Wexford for a dangerous pull.
I'd say the mentors there during the sideline of Kilkenny a bit. McAvoy to drive that ball in, and mind carrying it, ball was taken off, and Wexford on the attack here.
Got a quick shot there in the last piece of TV of Mick Power, who's the brother of John. Watching now as Liam Dunn prepares to take this free for Wexford. The Slaney Siders hoping to try and get something out of this. Comes to North, Philly Larkin driving it defiantly down. Canis Brennan showing tenacity. Here comes Martin Byrne. There's a player down on the ground, and he's put it wide in any case. Paul Codd is down injured. And there's another player down injured here for Kilkenny. Incidentally, Andy Comerford has switched back to his number 8 jersey once again. Player injured, Declan Ruth. Declan from the Rapparees club. He's been on the scene now at senior level for the last 5 years. He was a very successful under-21 player. I'll watch this once again here. And that was Martin Byrne there, thundering in. Kenneth Brennan was in the thick of the action. Fenlon was coming away. And this was Byrne taking it forward. Kenneth Brennan here, being attended to. So that is where Paul Codd went down injured. Everybody back on their feet once again. Bruised, but back and fit to take their positions. James McGarry here, plays for Bennett's Bridge, very famous club in County Kilkenny. Swept down towards John Hoyne, getting there ahead of Liam Dunn. It runs all the way through. Charlie Carter stopped there by Damien Fitzhenry. Colin Keogh reacting quickest this time. Henry Shefflin pressurising. DJ Carey arriving on the scene. That's Darragh Ryan, the fullback. Missing it the first time. Just getting it forward enough as far as Adrian Fenlon. Nicely struck, well controlled here by Sean Dowling. Over towards Charlie Carter once again. Colin Keogh down injured. Fouled. Free to Wexford. It heats up. Still, there are 6 points between the teams. John Hoyne is in there, being spoken to by the referee. Is he in trouble? We'll have to wait and see following this save here by Damien Fitzhenry. Well, if he's taken the notebook out, we know what that means this time.
He's in trouble this time, Joe, because this is his third time. I'd say he's going to go a second yellow.
It has to be, and he is leaving the scene. John Hoyne sent off 7 minutes into the second half. He really had a lead off in the first. He should have been sent off at that stage. And this is what happened here. An elbow to the face there of Colin Keogh, quite blatant. But Kilkenny still have the cushion of a 6-point advantage.
Yeah, what'll happen now, Jerry, is you'll see that Henry Shefflin will come out centre forward, and you'll have the two man full forward inside, Charlie and DJ.
It's still a very potent forward line. Hoyne, who was a surprise introduction into the All-Ireland final team last year, played on the wing that day. So a lot of hurling to be played in this by Kilkenny. Down to 14. Well, you can see the manager has already had a very quick word there with his fellow selectors. And Shefflin has indeed gone out onto the 40. They're about to make a change. And they're bringing on the number 18 here is Eddie Brennan. Eddie Brennan, who got 1 goal and 2 points in the semi-final. And also coming into it is Rory Mallon, the other number 18.
Colin Keogh, jersey, I think his shoulder's gone, his collarbone seems to be gone from that tackle. He's gone off as well.
So, a very costly challenge, foul, and so on. And here comes the Kilkenny player, Eddie Brennan. We know what he can do from past experience. He'll have been disappointed to have been left out in the first place. That change hasn't been made just yet. Eamon Kennedy's under pressure here from Martin Byrne. Can Wexford put it up to the Cats? That's been the big question all week long. Barry Goff, Michael Kavanagh over there. They try to get it up onto the stick. Won't just happen for Barry Goff. It happens for Brian McAvoy. On towards DJ Carey. Darragh Ryan back in control of this situation here. And DJ holds him up. And holds him up long enough for Wexford to get themselves a free. It certainly has excited the crowd what's been happening in the last few minutes here. DJ holding up the launch of the next attack by Wexford. Dennis Byrne, by the way, is going off the Kilkenny team, and Eddie Brennan is coming on.
Yeah, Jaron, Eddie Brennan, Dennis just hasn't been happening for Eddie Brennan is very, very fast. There's a lot of pace.
Well, it'll be interesting to see where they play Eddie and DJ, because DJ's moving further out the field. He's taken Darragh Ryan with him. Ryan has now gone back, decided, I'm not going following you, you can go out the field if you want to. Here's Michael Kavanagh. Hand passed away to Sean Dowling. Stopped over here. Declan Ruth. Well, Hurleys go flying, but the important control is by Noel Hickey. Out to Sean Dowling. Crafty player. Banged out again once more. Out towards Adrian Fenlon. Canis Brennan a bit late arriving. Michael Kavanagh rising up for this one, and it's Philly Larkin who gets it. Martin Byrne. The game picking up a notch or two. More excitement coming into the occasion, but it's still 111 to 8 points. That clash ball. Opportunities here. Rory McCarthy might have hit it first time on the ground. Opted to pick it instead. Being invited to stay out there by the backs. That stamp hitting it in. Kavanagh's under pressure. James McGarry comes to his rescue and makes a very good clearance before Ryan Quigley can get in. Larry O'Gorman now beating his man, who is Brian McAvoy, for this half. Once again, it's cleared from danger. Backed by Larry O'Gorman. Hurling now rather tennis style. Here's Michael Kavanagh following it on. The hand pass by the man from Dunnamaggin, Eamon Kennedy. Kavanagh's clearance way down towards Charlie Carter, getting inside the substitute. Charlie going this way, and then that, partially blocked down. It was Liam Dunne got the block on it there. Rory Mallon put under pressure. This time it's the other Wexford man, Larry O'Gorman. And Larry was challenged late, didn't like that challenge at all by Henry Shefflin. The foul has resulted in a free to Wexford, and once again it begins to boil a bit.
You wouldn't have to let it do now, Jerry. Could actually throw it in. He just wouldn't know. No, he's going to give the free. Adrian Fenlon came in very late there. No need for him to go in there because Larry had his free gone.
And that's what led up to it. And then when Fenlon came in, as you say, the referee could have changed his decision.
He has changed his decision.
You're right. Shawnee Flood. Again, difficulty getting it up onto the stick. Adrian Fenlon. Kennedy trying to hit it out. Pressure on the backs here of Kilkenny. Free-for-all situation, tidied in the end by Noel Hickey. Very good full-back. McAvoy into space, Shefflin chasing after it. Oh, here's Shefflin, turning it back nicely. An opportunity, and it's another goal!
Eddie Brennan, he got a great ball from Shefflin. He stuck in the back net, and he's lethal because he has the pace in the right spot. You couldn't play David Fitzhenry. He got to it, just couldn't hold it out.
It's the 12th minute of the second half, and it's more good news for Kilkenny, down to 14. But their super sub Eddie Brennan rattled it past Damien Fitzhenry for goal number 2 for the afternoon. It's now going according to plan. That save by McGarry was very important in the first half, keeping Wexford at bay the whole time. Larry O'Gorman rising for that one, still chasing after this. Only as far as Philly Larkin, stepping away from the challenge of Ryan Quigley. There could be plenty of more scores about. Danger men everywhere. Eddie Brennan. Turn back to Charlie Carter. And that is over the bar.
You see, Joe, with the men short up front, there's actually more space for the Kilkenny full forward than when the ball gets in there. Brennan got onto that ball, was going to take him on, found on round in, threw it back to Charlie, and they're lethal in open space.
That is 6 points now by Charlie Carter. What a performance. Yes, there are huge gaps now in front of that Wexford goal, and plenty of men around with a lot of pace to try and exploit. DJ is now operating more as a midfield player, having drawn out Dara Ryan with him. Larry Murphy there would love to come back into the action, how they could do with him. In fact, I believe he is going to come back. So he's being prepared over there, and the change will be made in just a moment. Adrian Fenlon. Canis Brennan going across to try and take it, but not in his stride initially. Here he is, off Martin Byrne, who was the man who came on in place of Larry Murphy. And this is going to be thrown in. Canis Brennan, the army man. And the linesman on this near side is Diarmuid Quinlan from Cork. Larry Murphy returns, and Ryan Quigley is going to leave the fray. No time to waste. Larry wants to come back in. He scored a point earlier on, same as the man here who is being replaced now, Ryan Quigley. Is there a way back for Wexford against the Leinster and All-Ireland champions? Hard to imagine that there is, but you never know in sport. Sean Dowling. Down towards Brennan once again. What a dangerous corner forward, and he can only make the subs bench. DJ Carey. Back there using experience. Good run. Declan Ruth was after him. Supporting him is Brian McAvoy. What pace! Going by O'Gorman. McAvoy's great run. That is a magnificent point. One of the scores of the game so far, and it is brilliantly executed by Brian McAvoy. 3 points for the day. Kilkenny are the masters. DJ with a wonderful pass across here, and they made a fantastic run out of midfield. Look at the pace and the sheer control here of Brian McAvoy. Wonderful hurling. Adrian Fenlon. This is JJ Delaney. Well, the Wexford fans not giving up on their team just yet. They still have some hope, but they're praying for miracles. Liam Dunn. Huge one downfield towards Paul Codd. Touched in field here. This is Goff. Cross towards Martin Byrne. They need a goal. The match needs a score by Wexford. They've got a free in. It'll be on the 20-metre line.
The Kilkenny lads will be complaining about that, because like he got through, didn't see any foul at all. I think, Gerard, that they'll have to go for a goal here to bring them back into the game.
No question about that. They certainly will. Well, the referee saw a foul somewhere, but it's puzzling. Paul Codd. Just a foot or two outside the 20-metre line. 6 players on the goal line. He's going for the goal. It's stopped well by Billy Larkin and belted back in again. It was Larry Murphy who got it back in the second time. This time it's Martin Byrne. Stopped by Sean Dowling. Eamon Kennedy trying to get it out. Stamp was trying to get it in. But the backs of Kilkenny showing great experience, great craft and skill. Back down again. Charlie Carter. 2 men are chasing after him. But the Pied Piper has it, and the Pied Piper has got another score.
This guy is unbelievable today, Gerard. I don't think he's missed any score at all. He's on song.
And he damaged a knee during the week, which is strapped up. But he's made it 2-14 to 8 points. Eamon Kennedy, whoops, 2 players getting in one another's way that time, but JJ Delaney manages to make amends. Kicks it out towards DJ Carey. Off he goes once again. Declan Root chasing once more. Again, there's support players around. Canis Brennan, McAvoy's there. And they've only got 14 players. They're playing like they've got 24 players. And that is another superb score. Brilliant work, absolutely magnificent. That's 4 shots now by Brian McAvoy, 4 points. And we are seeing one of the great teams around in action.
Yeah, Gerard, they're running the ball, they're creating the space, and they have the skill. They're getting into a bit of extra space. Like, even though Wexford have the extra man, it doesn't look that way out there. And there's about 30 yards in front of the Wexford goal with no one in it, and that suits Kilkenny.
Well, Wexford fans will be well aware that their team has only scored 1 point in the last 25 minutes of this match. And they're under pressure again. Rory Mallon going back. Charlie is after him. Still Charlie, such a crafty player, beaten in the end, and Liam Dunn gets it away. Over towards Larry Murphy's corner. Larry operating at left half forward at this stage. It's going to be a free down for Kilkenny. Michael Kavanagh here is a really tidy and economic hurler. Good at covering, great clearances as well. Doesn't give his opponent too many chances. So, DJ Carey deciding to take over the free-taking duties from the middle of the field. It's a big one. Shefflin's around in there, spills off his hand. And it was Brennan trying to get it in, and goalkeeper Damien Fitzhenry just spreading himself and it's gone for a 65.
Yeah, Gerard DJ's bringing himself into the game, like he's getting onto the ball around the midfield and carrying the hand pass, and now he's going to take the 65s. Usually this would be Shefflin. I think might come out and take it, but DJ wants to take it.
Well, he's going to leave it for Henry. Henry's first in the pecking order, and this is the first 65 of the match. Essentially what we've been watching, it was really exhibition hurling. Is there a team in Leinster that can live with Kilkenny, or for that matter, another team in the country? And Shefflin points this.
That's the question, Jerry. Is there a team in the country that can live with them? They look awesome out there again today, but the boys in Munster probably think they can do it.
I'm sure the Munster champions will have views on that. 2-10, 2-16 rather, 2-8 points. And everybody wondered going into this match whether with the injuries and so on, Kilkenny could be caught, whether they had the freshness still about them. Because if they get to this year's All-Ireland final, before All-Ireland finals in a row, Liam Dunn broken down once again here towards Philly Larkin. Here's Larry O'Gorman, still battling away gamely. James McGarry wants to make sure that a goal doesn't go by him today. In fact, in his championship career, only 5 goals have gone in the previous 9.5 matches. Canis Brennan. And that is another one.
Wexford are careful here, George. They're in to get a humiliation defeat, because, like, you know, these boys are picking off points and they're looking around the place, and you think looking out there that Kilkenny have 16 or 17 people on the pitch.
Well, there are now 15 points between the teams. Declan Ruth trying to get it forward. Taken by the other number 5, who was Philly Larkin. Andy Comerford. The 14 men in full flight once again. Brian McAvoy. This time it's stopped by Rory Mallon. Good ball by Cavanagh. Philly Larkin. Late challenge by Larry Murphy, but still Eamon Kennedy managed to get it away downfield. Liam Dunn. Here's Darren Stamp. Rory McCarthy, who started very prominently, but those early misses in the opening 5-10 minutes by Wexford, they were fairly crucial. But then it's hard to know whether they would ever be able to live with the sheer class we're seeing exhibited by the Kilkenny Cats. They bring Paul Codd out, Wexford now, as far as the 65-metre line to take this free. And Tony Dempsey wants to make another change, and there could be a fresh man in here very, very shortly. But I noticed that Andy Comerford seems to have once again a blood injury. Gary Laffin is the player who'll be in. Surprisingly omitted, I suppose, in the first place, because he had a lot of experience of playing at full forward. So Gary Laffin about to come into the action. Derek Ling has come back in again, at least for a moment, as a replacement for Andy Comerford. It's his second time to experience championship action this afternoon. It's going to be one full forward for another. Barry Goff goes off, and Gary Laffin is in. Laffin, who was full forward on the team that won the All-Ireland, but that was 5 years ago now. Still quite a few survivors around the place from that team. Some young players coming through, a promising minor, a promising under-21 team. They'll be building for the future. Right now, Paul Codd, in the present tense, puts it over the bar for his 4th point. All of them from frees. And they've revamped their team quite significantly. Codd is now way out around the middle of the field. But still about 10 minutes to play. McGarry targeting Henry Shefflin. beautifully taken. Shawnee Flood's after him, trying to feed it through. Here's Paul Codd. Well caught here once again by the centre half back, Eamon Kennedy. Adrian Fenlon. Game has gone ragged, as you'd expect, with one team so vastly superior. Well, Johnny Dempsey must be wondering just where to start. That last free there by Paul Codd, that was just their second point in the second half.
Yeah, Gerwin completely out of the game when they got 15 into 14. Imagine if he's into it, they should be coming at that stage.
Well, when you consider that Kilkenny have already trounced awfully, and now they're doing the same to Wexford, it's hard to know what to make of Leinster hurling. Adrian Fenlon. Towards Larry Murphy. Trying to dig it out of that space in there. Noel Hickey is around in the thick of the action as Gary Lappin comes through. And he did his bit to make sure that at least he got a free. So free to Wexford, and once again Paul Codd will come up to take this one just outside the 20-metre line. So as before, one assumes it's a goal attempt. Well, the last one was stopped by Philly Larkin on the line. James McGarry just in front of his backs. Once again, Larkin is to the left of the goal as we look at it. It's fired in and comes off the post this time, off the crossbar. A stick may have touched it onto it. Here comes Philly Larkin. So a couple of goal opportunities in the second half from frees, and one in the first half. But that's as near as Wexford have come. 2-17 to 9 points. Well, it looks like Andy Comerford, following the treatment for the blood injury, is ready to come back on again. Well, you look at the team that they have right now, Cyril, and remember that today John Parr wasn't playing, Peter Barry wasn't playing, DJ has yet to achieve full fitness, Hoyne was sent off, Eddie Brennan can't get his place at the starting 15. It's ominous.
Yeah, they're very strong, and I would think, Ger, as well, that they're not fully tuned yet for as they would be for an All-Ireland final. So there's more in these guys, but they're playing a nice brand of hurling. Like, you know, in club hurling in Kilkenny they look quite good, but they look individualistic enough. But here for Kilkenny, like, it's the team unit that makes them very, very good. Like, you can mark one, but yet when the ball is thrown out into space, another one is popping up. And I would think today Brian McAvoy would be very happy to get a full game under the belt, seeing that he was nearly injured all last year.
Well, this is the fifth sub, by the way, for Wexford. John Parr wondering whether he'll be able to play later this season in the championship. He would have an awful lot to contribute. As good a centre forward as I think I've seen over the last 10 years playing championship. Charlie Carter is going off to a thunderous ovation. He scored a total of 7 points. And they bring in a new player in Stephen Graham.
Yeah, played last year, Ger. Was on
That's
for
right.
a lot of it.
A lot of league experience as well. In fact, I think he'd be quite disappointed that he wasn't one of those who made the first 15. Turn back here towards Larry Murphy. Well, can Wexford get a few more scores just to put a healthier look on the final scoreline? But that's all it would be. Mitch Jordan. Back out towards the substitute, Trevor Kelly. And that has gone over the bar. And it's Trevor Kelly's first contribution. But 13 points between the teams. Nice pass from Mitch Jordan out as far as Trevor Kelly. And a fine score. One of the young players hoping to gain experience. He's marking DJ Carey. No bigger task can you get. Nicely won by Graham. Well, that's going to be a free in.
Good catch by Graham there under pressure. Jerry on there about John Powell. Word from Jerry Hartman is down in Limerick that John Powell will be available later on this season.
Well, John Parr is hoping to be back at club level with his own club next Sunday, I believe. And that is put over the bar by Henry Shefflin. He's got 4 points from frees. Powerful man, makes it 2-18 to 10 points. But it really is a rout. Just like the match against Offaly. One-sided. Rory McCarthy now operating around midfield. Kennedy. He's played well at centre half back. Very little has gone through there. Once again, it's Brian McAvoy. At least Wexford don't have Charlie Carter to contend with for the remaining 5 minutes. Paul Codd. Kennedy once again with Martin Byrne there to challenge, and Philly Larkin. Here's Mitch Jordan, picked off the ground. Nothing going right for them. Well, Tony Dempsey came in and took charge of this team. Not too many people were looking for that particular position at the start of the playing season. And he's brought them here to a Leinster final, heavily beaten. And of course, they will be back in the championship, back in the quarter-finals, as Graham strikes it from way out the field and lands it over the crossbar.
Yeah, Gerard Graham is trying to get on the team. Like, he played a lot of it last year, and a lot of people think he's the actual successor to John Power, but like, he's playing quite well out there.
So Stephen Graham getting his first point in this match. They're all scoring. The only man who'll be disappointed, I think, today was the captain, Dennis Byrne. Here's pressure. And it goes wide. But at least Byrne will get a chance to go up and lift the cup a little bit later on. Or should I say he'll stay on the ground lifting the cup. They don't come up here anymore.
The game has gone very flat at the moment to Kilkenny. They're only just going through the motions of playing as such, and Wexford, nothing is happening for them. They're not even getting a break.
McGarry. Graham was rising for it. Taken by Kelly instead. Trevor Kelly. Belted ahead, Rory McCarthy. Inside towards Larry Murphy. They're waiting for his J.J. Delaney. There is simply no way through. Graham. And it's Fitzhenry who comes out this time. Just got a touch on it. Good clearance. Kennedy once again, who he misses it completely this time. And they take off here with Mitch Jordan, and then he runs straight into a covering player. And a lovely bit of covering here by J.J. Delaney. Liam Dunn. Player who came back from a broken leg some time ago. Pursued all the way by Graham. On to Martin Byrne for Wexford. Batted out by Philly Larkin. Kavanagh trying to pick it up. Mitch Jordan feeding it ahead there towards Larry O'Gorman. He'd love to have scored. One player who always plays his heart out. Shawnee Flood. Touchdown by Codd. Andy Comerford. Oof, it's a bad pass. Paul Codd. Laying it ahead to Gary Laffin. Racing by Sean Dowling. Darren Stampier. Stopped by McGarry. Nothing's going by him, and in the end he's pushed out over the end line. The umpire was going to give a 65, but the referee saw the push in the back, and it's going to be a free to Kilkenny. Just over a minute of normal time remaining. This opportunity here for Darren Stamp. Stopped by McGarry, and then he bundled him over for good measure. Kilkenny had 34 chances this afternoon in this match up to now. Surprisingly, Wexford had 30. But a big difference in the number of scores they managed to take. 21 against 10. Well, scoring opportunities at least, Cyril, will give them some hope heading into the quarter-finals now of this year's Guinness Championship.
Yeah, Gerard, morale will be pretty low after that display, though. Like, they'll need to get out again and start playing.
Rory Mallon hitting that one ahead to Gary Laffin. Here's Mitch Jordan. And that is over the bar. Mitch Jordan from Marshallstown getting his first point. a late score, but there are still 14 between the teams. There'll be 3 minutes of added time.
The question, Jerry, after this, will be anyone able to stop Kilkenny? That'll be on everyone's lips as such.
And that goes harmlessly wide. Well, obviously, teams like Tipperary are going to fancy that they will at least be in with a chance. They're through to the semi-finals, as we know at this stage. Limerick, Wexford now, the Ulster champions, and Galway also in the quarter-finals. It's in by Ruth. Broken down here dangerously in front of goal. They want to keep a clean sheet, I'm sure. Kilkenny, a massive pile-up inside there. Looked like Henry Street in Dublin on a busy Saturday afternoon.
This has been trying to happen a lot lately during hurling, like when you can't get the ball, people are lying on the ball. Technically speaking, if you lie on the ball and can't play it, it's a free. But like last Sunday in the Munster final, there was a lot of throws in as well, and you're seeing the same thing here today.
So Gary was
get down on it.
A massive pile-up, and Larry Murphy just waiting for it to come out to hit it into the back of the net. The referee is going to restart by throwing the ball in on the 20-metre line. DJ into contest. Larry Murphy trying to force it through along with Martin Byrne.
See the same thing again now there. They're covering the ball when no one else can play it. Technically speaking, that's a free.
And technically speaking, that's a blow. And the referee is isolating Gary Laffin. He's already sent off John Hoyne. Martin Byrne, the player, trying to get himself up onto the deck once again, and you saw Gary Laffin striking out at Eamon Kennedy. It's a yellow card.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't send him off, because they're only shoving and pushing down there as such.
So a booking for one of the Wexford players. Hard to imagine that since early stages in the second half, Kilkenny have played with 14. Larry Murphy whipping on it. Out it comes to Brian McAvoy, such an elegant and stylish player, way back at this stage. Belted ahead by Rory Mallon. Will he be able to come in and start the next day? Paul Codd, and that is over the bar. A point from play for Paul Codd. 5 in all then today, 4 of them from frees. 219 to 12 points.
Yeah, at this stage is only just going through the motions as such. It's all academic. DJ's playing more as a second centre back at the moment.
I'm sure in Galway, Cyril, they'll fancy their chances as well.
Yeah, they're going quite well. Beat Kilkenny there for weeks in a challenge though.
Well, here we go. It's Kilkenny, champions once again, this time for the 58th time in Leinster. Charlie Carter was very much the star performer this afternoon. He scored 7 points from about as many shots on the target. And overall, Kilkenny absolutely superb. When they needed to turn it on, they did exactly that. Brian Cody has led them to another Leinster success. Hard to know where serious opposition to Kilkenny is going to come from in the East. But they are champions once more and favourites, no doubt, to win this year's All-Ireland, having won by 13 points. It's Kilkenny 2-19, Wexford 12 points. Wexford for the quarter-finals, Kilkenny and DJ for the semi.
Put up to us for a long time. I think the turning point was probably maybe the sending off. I think I just had a chance to get a goal before they missed it, and they got sent, and John Hine got sent off shortly afterwards. And from there on, we just upped to the gear.
I think you restricted them to 4 points since the red card.
And I wasn't minding statistics now, but we were just trying to over our own scores.
Now, people will probably make comments about Leinster hurling after the Offaly game and this.
There's nothing wrong with Leinster hurling at all. Offaly won in '98, Kilkenny won in 2000. We're after win 2 of the last 3 All-Ireland, so there's hardly a whole lot wrong with it, is there?
Charlie, we'll let you go and get the trophy. Thanks a million. Well done.
Here's Seamus Aldridge, who is the Leinster chairman, of course. It's stage during the game, but the trophy goes back to what they call the home of hurling in Leinster. Kilkenny champions one more time.
Well, it's certainly been the home of hurling in terms of Kilkenny and Leinster championships for the last couple of years anyway. That trophy very familiar to them down there in Kilkenny. Pete Finnerty, you were right, you know, at half-time, your assessment of what might happen in the second half.
Yeah, Wexford didn't get the start that we hoped they would get, but really the sending off, people thought it might ignite Wexford, but I said when he got sent off it's going to create more room for the Kilkenny forwards, and as Tomas will tell you, he's a middling forward in his day, the more room you give a forward, the better quality the forward will come through and he'll destroy you. And Kilkenny have 5 or 6 or 7 great forwards that can introduce. Eddie Brennan there at will, and he comes along, he scores another goal after being introduced. They have DJ coming out into the middle of the field, creating space inside. Charlie Carter is buzzing. They're some team at the moment, when you consider that Peter Barry isn't there either. John Power has to come back, and it's hard to see who's going to come up and nail them this year.
In terms of the Leinster Championship, Tomas, I mean, there is only one team in it at the moment. It has been for a couple of years now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a pity because it's not doing anything for the standard of hurling in Leinster at this stage, Michael. They're getting it too easy, to be honest with you. And when you look at what's happening in Munster, and guys have to play 3 or 4 very hard games to come out of Munster alone, I mean, no, it could come against...
It's not Kilkenny's fault,
obviously. It's not Kilkenny's fault. I mean, they are the best team in Leinster at this stage, you know, and it might come against them on the basis that their odds are going to be shortened again after today for the All-Ireland title. And the team that's coming out of Munster at this stage will have played a lot of games. They would have had a lot of hard matches. Even Limerick at this stage have got an awful lot of hard games under their belt as well. So they're going into a quarter-final draw. They'll be full of expectation as well, you know. So whoever draws Kilkenny, I'm sure, will draw the short straw. But like they could look forward to it on the basis that it could be an overconfident Kilkenny at this stage, because everybody in the press, the media, everybody's going to talk about Kilkenny as a team to go to win the All-Ireland final. And I think that could be Brian Cody's biggest job over the next number of weeks.
Well, I suppose that's one for another day, gentlemen. But today they are the champions. Tomas Mulcahy, Pete Finnerty, thank you very much for joining me on the panel. And just before we leave here on our live programme, a look at the results of the day in Gaelic games. Joining us, see you later on.
Pleasure for me.